Hi guys, it's Kasha. Welcome to the channel, to my Wonderland. It is again a coffee time, and today I bring you Top 5 Wednesdays. If you're wondering what's up with my hand, it's not because I drink unreasonable amounts of coffee every day and I burn myself. I just have some tendonitis issues that are coming back again and again, and I got some stuff done today at the doctor, so that's why I have to have it wrapped up for 24 hours. Now to the tag and the reason for this video. So I found this really awesome group on Goodreads, and they have something called Top 5 Wednesdays. They share with you a list every month and they tell you the topic for every Wednesday, and it is always a top 5. Of course it is book related, and I thought that was super interesting, and that gives me the chance to make like some quick interesting videos for you every Wednesday, if I manage to do them every Wednesday, which I'm gonna try. In case you want to check it out yourselves, I'm gonna leave down below a link to the Goodreads page. I'm also gonna leave down below the channel of the person that is currently organizing this group. So without further ado, let's go to our Top 5 Wednesday. The topic for today's tag is books that you've removed from your TBR. Those are the books that you at some point thought you wanted to read, but you don't want to read anymore. We all have those. We have all those cover buys, things that we saw everybody hyping about, we buy them, we lose interest, we see some reviews we don't like, we just have other things that we'd rather read instead of that, and in the end you never get to those books. I do have a lot of books on my TBR right now that I have not read, and I don't particularly know if there are any there that I am definitely not gonna read at some point. So I have chosen books that I was excited about reading, or I thought I was gonna read at some point, but then I just didn't, and I don't think it's gonna happen. Also, currently I do not own a copy of any of these books, so another reason why even bother to order it if I'm not even excited in the first place. The first book that made it to my top 5, it is The Host by Stephanie Meyer. Now, I don't want anybody to get offended. We all have different opinions of books, different tastes. That's why the booktube community is so awesome, because you get to know a lot of people with different opinions. And to be honest with you, I am one of those that did not like the Twilight series. It started good for me. Like, I read the first book before it was even a movie or any big fangirl thing happened. I was just at the bookstore and I saw this book about vampires, and I love everything about vampires. I want to read everything about vampires. So I was like, why not? Let's get it. So that's how I bought Twilight. I just saw it and thought, it's about vampires, I'm gonna give it a try. I thought it was very simple, like extremely simple, but I still got book 2. Book 2 was still okay, but then book 3 came and I lost all interest in the series. I even pushed myself to try book 4, but I never finished it. I still don't know what happened in the end. I invested hours of my life reading from book 1 to nearly the end of book 4, but then I never finished it. I just couldn't. I was like pushing myself to read one more page. It might have been one of the only books I've ever DNF'd in my life. So anyway, when The Host was announced, and it was about aliens, it's basically about these creatures that come to Earth and then they use the humans as a vessel. And I thought, you know, body snatchers kind of thing, like supernatural. Maybe I should give it a try. But then good friends of mine, whose opinions I trust, told me not to read The Host because it was bad. And so I ended up taking it out completely from my TBR back then, and I've lost my interest ever since. Why another airplane? Why though? Can the airplanes just go somewhere else today and not to the airport? Like, just keep going. I don't know, see where it takes you. That'd be great. Second, we have the Maze Runner series or trilogy. I don't remember which one it is, and it is by James Dashner. I was really excited about this because I always loved the story, and I was this close many times of buying the box set, but I never did. And after the news of James Dashner being accused of abuse and assault, and he even recognized himself that it was true and that he needs help, Me, as many others in the booktube community, have decided not to support this guy anymore, so that means also not buying the books. So I don't know if I will ever read them, because like I said, I really like the story. We basically follow Thomas, and he wakes up one day and he's surrounded by strangers. The only thing he remembers is his name. The rest of his memory is gone, and they are basically somewhere that they're surrounded by a big maze, and it changes, like it changes forms and everything, and that looks so awesome. And how are you gonna get out of there? And I love those kind of puzzles and those kind of stories, and it looked like so much fun and adventure. And I am so upset that I'm not gonna read it. So I don't know, like, should I just watch the movies if I have access to them for free? Like, what do you guys recommend? Or should I just try to read like a free copy of the books? Or I don't know, because I am torn. But there were definitely books on my TBR that I removed from there because of reasons. Number 3 is a trilogy, and that is 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James. I think everybody knows the story by now, but we follow the story of Anastasia, and she goes to an interview to this like poshy, rich, good-looking guy called Christian Grey, and they basically start kind of like a love story, more like an abused love story, I guess. Anyway, when I saw the books, I remember when I saw the books first, they were not even turned into movies or anything, and I saw them at like a bookstore in the airport. I still remember that, and I was kind of like doubting if I wanted to read them or not, and I decided to put them on my TBR, like on my list of books that I want to read. I guess I had another idea of the books in my head, and then when I saw like the trailer for the movie and I started hearing more opinions about the trilogy and everything, I just lost all the interest that I had. Plus the covers are ugly. They're ugly. The other 2 books that I decided to take out of my TBR are actually classics, and I do want to read more classics, but there are a couple that I know I'm never gonna get to them. And even though I put them on my TBR, it's just not gonna happen because there are so many other things that I want to read first. The first of those 2 classics is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, and that is a book written on the 1960s, and I don't know, like, I've heard so many mixed opinions, but I feel like everybody that I follow and whose opinion I trust on the booktube community, most of them get bored with the book and just cannot push themselves to finish it. And I don't want to go into a reading slump because of this book. And I don't know, tell me down below if you read the book. Like, did you like it? Do you think it's really worth to give it a try? I think it's only around 300 pages, so it's still kind of doable, but for now I removed it from my TBR. And the last one, it is a chunk classic book, and that is Moby Dick by Herman Melville. And this book has 720 pages or something like that. In Moby Dick, we follow the story of a man that has lost his mind. He's basically just a madman, and he starts this war with this huge and dangerous animal as the sea itself. And I have the feeling this book is going to be very, very slow. And the other reason why I don't want to read this book is because I have the feeling that it's going to deal also a lot about trying to hurt this animal, like trying to capture it all the time and trying to fight with it and hurt it all the time. And I am a really, really big animal lover, and I don't know if I can put myself through 700 pages where somebody's mission is just to capture and kill an animal. I just don't see myself. And I did have this on my TBR because it was a classic, and I thought that was back then when I thought you need to read all the classics, but I don't think like that anymore. It's really good to read classics, and they're classics for a reason, but I think you have to also pick the classics that you're really interested in. Alright you guys, so this was my top 5 Wednesday with 5 books that I've removed from my TBR. Let me know down below what you think about the books that I've mentioned in this video. Let me know in a comment down below as well which are the books that are gone from your TBR. Give the video a thumbs up for support, subscribe to the channel, all my other social media is listed down below, and I hope to see you guys in the next coffee time. Bye!